Welcome to lesson 131 of A Course in Miracles. No one can fail who seeks the truth. You are at the Qigong support for A Course in Miracles students. I am Judith, and this is the Lucid Mind Center. We're going to read the Course in Miracles lesson together, and then we are going to contemplate it while we are reading it. You're going to contemplate it together with me. And once we are finished, I'm going to suggest Qigong classes for you, which are suitable for this particular lesson, which are going to help you internalize and understand this lesson better. At the end, let me know how this went for you. Also tell me how long you've been with A Course in Miracles, if this is the first time round for you or you have done it several times before. And let me know how it goes for you. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to my channel so more Course in Miracles students can find me and our small Qigong Course in Miracles community can grow. I personally believe that Qigong is very powerful, that it can help us understand the role of this body better in this world and also understand our role, our function here much better. Let's begin. Lesson 131. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. Failure is all about you while you seek for goals that cannot be achieved. You look for permanence in the impermanent, for love where there is none, for safety in the midst of danger, immortality within the darkness of the dream of death. Who could succeed where contradiction is the setting of his searching and the place to which he comes to find stability? For example, what do they actually mean by that? Immortality within the darkness of the dream of death. So we are searching, we're trying to make this body immortal. We are trying to prolong it, even when the suffering is big. We are trying to prolong this life within this body forever. I mean, there's people who are freezing the body instead of burying it or burning it. They are freezing it because they're hoping that somewhere in the future they will be able to overcome the illness they have while they have frozen their body. I mean, this is searching for immortality where there is none. I mean, our soul is already immortal. Our mind is already immortal. This is a typical case of level confusion. Looking for immortality where it is not. Our body is not immortal. Our body is mortal. Our body is here for a little while, but our mind is here forever. And it's not this ego mind. It's not this mind which identifies as yourself or myself. It's not this mind which identifies as Judith. It's not that mind which is immortal. And that we have also mixed up. We have mixed that up that we are talking about reincarnation and several incarnation of the same soul. This would be the same as if you could return a droplet of water into the ocean and then again extract the exact same droplet of water to put into a new body. This is not how it works. This is the level confusion. And it says it here. We are looking for permanence in the impermanent, for love where there is none. We're looking for love where there is none. For example, we're looking for love in a relationship which is loveless, which was loveless from the very beginning. Maybe even from arranged marriages. What kind of love is that? Or is it also for love in those special relationships, which are not based on love, but rather on need? This is what is meant here. And this is a large lesson. This was only paragraph 1. Goals which are meaningless are not attained. There is no way to reach them, for the means by which you strive for them are meaningless as they are. Who can use such senseless means and hope through them to gain in anything? Where can they lead? And what could they achieve that offers any hope of being real. Pursuit of the imagined leads to death, because it is the search for nothingness. And while you seek for life, you ask for death. You look for safety and security, while in your heart you pray for danger and protection for the little dream you made. Yet searching is inevitable here. For this you came, and you will surely do the thing you came for. So, yet searching is inevitable here. Where? Here in this world, in this reality. Searching is inevitable here, because for this you came, and you will surely do the thing you came for. But the world cannot dictate the goal for which you search unless you give it power to do so. So we have to take our power back. You have to take the power back. I have to take the power back. Taking the power back, understanding that what you are, the circumstances you're seeing yourself in, is a result of your thoughts so far. It's a result of your way of looking at the world. This world I'm seeing is the result of my looking at the world, and it's not always happy. It's not always great. No, I have times where I sink deep into despair. But this is the way of this world. If I haven't got it right, if I am not in love, if I haven't figured out to be in love, to remember that I'm already in heaven, then I fall into despair and remember how miserable this world can be if you let it. So the world cannot dictate what you want, what you search for. Otherwise, you still are free to choose a goal that lies beyond the world and every worldly thought, and one which comes to you from an idea relinquished yet remembered, old yet new, an echo of the heritage forgot, yet holding everything you really want. Be glad that search you must. You must search here. Be glad as well to learn you search for heaven and must find the goal you really want. And if you observe in the past, and you're probably going to notice that you've been looking for heaven for the longest time. I have. This is what has led me to this particular point, because I always searched for heaven. I always searched for this. There must be another way. There must be a better way to live this life. This is the search I had very present in my awareness from very early on in my life. And be glad as well to learn you search for heaven and must find the goal you really want. No one can fail to want this goal and reach it in the end. God's Son cannot seek vainly, though he try to force delay, deceive himself, and think that it is hell he seeks. When he is wrong, he finds correction. When he wanders off, he is led back to his appointed task. So there is always some sort of a force which is kind of putting us back on track. I call it life. I allow life to lead me back on track. Like, for example, those lessons which I wanted to be ahead, or I wanted to record a lesson in the morning, this with you. And I didn't manage it. And I can then despair. I can get very upset and be annoyed with the world that I didn't get to do it. Or I can say, okay, I didn't get to record it on that time because it wasn't meant for that, because I haven't understood something I needed to understand, which I needed to transmit in this particular lesson. Allowing myself to be led back, allowing myself to believe that there is a power higher than this conscious mind I have here. A consciousness which is more intelligent than me, more wise than me, this Judith. When he's wrong, he finds correction. When he wanders off, he's led back to his appointed task, because we all have appointed tasks. No one remains in hell, for no one can abandon his creator, nor affect his perfect, timeless, and unchanging love, because it is within you. You will find heaven, because it is within you. Everything you seek, but this will fall away, yet not because it has been taken from you. It will go because you do not want it no more. You will reach the goal you really want as certainly as God created you in sinlessness. Why wait for heaven? It is here today. Time is the great illusion. It is past or in the future. This is the illusion again. Time in itself is an illusion in this world. And so we believe that heaven is the illusion, when heaven is the reality, and time and this what we are perceiving through our senses is the illusion. Yet this cannot be it. Yet this cannot be if it is where God wills his son to be. How could the will of God be in the past or yet to happen? Because the will of God is everywhere at all times. What he wills is now, without a past and wholly fruitless. It is far removed from time, as is a tiny candle from a distant star, or what you choose from what you really want. Heaven remains your one alternative to this strange world you made, and all its weights, its shifting patterns and uncertain goals, its painful pleasures and its tragic joys. God made no contradictions. What denies its own existence and attacks itself is not of him. He did not make two minds, with heaven as the glad effect of one, and earth the other's sorry outcome, which is heaven's opposite in every way. God does not suffer conflict, nor is his creation split in two. How could it be his son could be in hell when God himself established him in heaven? Because the son is making up his own mind. Could he lose what the eternal will has given him to be his home forever? He's here because he wills to be, and what he wills is present now, beyond the reach of time. Today we will not choose a paradox in place of truth. How could the Son of God make time to take away the will of God? So time cannot take away the will of God. This illusion cannot be more powerful than eternity. Time is not more powerful than eternity. He thus denies himself and contradicts what has no opposite. He thinks he made a hell opposing heaven, and believes that he abides in what does not exist, while heaven is the place he cannot find. Leave foolish thoughts like these behind today, and turn your mind to true ideas instead. And there is many philosophies out there, who are reinforcing this. And it's also somewhere in the Course in Miracles says, you can always find opposition and separation in any kind of statement, or you can find union. It is depending on what are you looking at. So for example, yin yang. Yin yang is a symbol of separation. It is showing us that there happened a separation. And our strive as humans is to reunite again, is to become or return to oneness. But if you look at yin yang and it becomes your God, then you believe there must be opposites in heaven. No, there must be opposites on earth, but not in heaven. Heaven is oneness. It is like the beautiful expression we have got day and night. So one day comprises day and night, but day is the light. The whole day is the light. But in this world, one day has got a day and a night. But it's within the day, and you can concentrate on the day because it takes a whole day, 24 hours, this we call a day. So even in our language, it is hidden the eternity, the oneness. Our earth, which is separated, which is a symbol of separation within the yin yang, is within heaven, is within the universe. And the universe, we have figured out, is eternal. We have figured out scientifically that it is eternal. There is no end to it. We understand it through mathematics because there is no end mathematically to anything. So we have understood, we have come as far as in humanity to understand that there is an eternity. We can't grasp it, we can't comprehend it, but we understand that there is something outside of our understanding, of our human scope. We have come far. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth, and it is truth we ask to reach today. We will devote 10 minutes to this goal 3 times today, and we will ask to see the rising of the real world to replace the foolish images that we held dear, with true ideas arising in the place of thoughts which have no meaning, no effect, and neither source nor substance in the truth. This we acknowledge as we start upon our practice periods. Begin with this. I ask to see a different world and think a different kind of thought from those I made. The world I seek, I did not make alone. The thoughts I want to think are not my own. Write this down, because here is a big key, a hidden key here. No, it's not even hidden, it's in plain sight. We are asking to see a different world, one which we did not make. With that we are establishing that there is a power bigger than ours, and this is so important. It is so important to establish a bigger power than this poxy little mind which we are thinking with. And this is also, there is many people in this world is going wrong by making our intellect, our human intellect, our highest good, when this is not our highest good. This is just an aspect of this human reality, but this is not who we are. We are way bigger than that. We are way more powerful. And in some religions you are, or in some societies, you're not even allowed to think that. This is stamped as blasphemous. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to think that you are bigger than your intellect? That you are greater than this body. We have to return back to this. We have to dare allow ourselves to remember that we are not this body, that we are more than this, and that there is a creator, a universal force, a divine energy, God, which is bigger than us. We need this acknowledgement to move on with life, to move on in the world, to become aware, to heal the world, to save the world. For several minutes, watch your mind and see although your eyes are closed. This is what we're going to do in our practice periods. That's why I'm telling you, write this down or leave the Course in Miracle next to you. No matter if you're doing a moving meditation or a seated meditation, you want to keep those thoughts in mind, because what we're doing here, we're doing mind training. For several minutes, watch your mind and see, although your eyes are closed, the senseless world you think is real. Review the thoughts as well which are compatible with such a world and which you think are true. Then let them go. Let them go. Purify your mind. Establish, I want to let go of those foolish thoughts. And listen, and sink below them to the holy place where they cannot enter. There is a door beneath them in your mind which you could not completely lock to hide what lies beyond. And this is so interesting. It is so interesting that it always says sink beyond them. Why does the Course in Miracle always talk about sinking? And again, by studying the Qigong, sinking is a movement of qi. It's a movement of energy. The energy is expressing itself in different movements. So energy can sink like water, or energy can rise. It can grow like a plant. It always goes up. It always urges to go up. So this is a surge of energy. The way energy can express itself. It can sink, it can rise, it can expand like a balloon, or it can contract when you take the air out of a balloon, or it can go in. It can actually go into a place where there is a door, and it can come out. Right? So it can go out and it can come in. So this in Qigong, this is called the different movements of qi. And these particular movements, when they observed them 5,000 years ago, they realized that there is certain expressions in our world which are describing this movement perfectly. For example, water. Water is always sinking towards the center of the earth, and it always makes itself level into the center of the earth. That's why we have the ocean. That's why the horizon is always level, because the whole body of water is pulled by the center of the earth. It's amazing. It's amazing mechanisms we have there. Actually, it's a pity we are not constantly aware of this amazing mechanism that we have on the world. So it is like water. So it says here, let go of those foolish thoughts and sink below them to the holy place where those foolish thoughts cannot enter. So where is that depth? Where can you sink towards? In Qigong, we are saying that this is the lower Dantian. And according to Chinese philosophy, the Taoism, you're sinking into the lower Dantian. This is where this is the center of your body, but this is where your emotions are anchored. And the mind is anchored in your heart. So the heart is anchored in the lower belly, and the mind, the spirit, is anchored in the heart. So if you don't anchor your heart, if you don't anchor your emotions in the depth of you, in the true you, then your mind cannot be anchored in truth either, because then it's anchored in fear. If your emotions are anchored in fear, remember I was talking about this belt of fear? If your emotions are anchored in fear, your mind is anchored in fear too. So we have to do what it takes. We have to train our mind to guide our emotions, if you will, to anchor themselves in the depth of our being, in our love, in the truth of who we are. We need to go beyond that belt of fear. And then it says, there is a door beneath them in your mind which you could not completely lock to hide what lies beyond. So what does the door symbolize? The door symbolizes something where you are going in. So again, this is like a movement of chi. You are sinking, and then you're finding a door where you're going in, because a door allows the movement to either go in or out. That's what a door does. So it is explaining here in those two phrases that we have to sink deep within, and then we have to find our door where we have to go into something. And that's what we want. We want to sink deep into our lower dantian. We want to sink deep into our awareness and remember that we are love, that we are the child of God. Seek for that door and find it, because there is a door. And that door is that door between fear and love, that we need to sink beyond and sink and go in through that door. And this is our central channel. That's why we are training the central channel. We have done that for 131 days. 130 days we have trained our central channel, our mind, to go beyond this. But before you try to open it, remind yourself, no one can fail who asks to reach the truth. And is this request you make today? Nothing but this has any meaning now. No other goal is valued now, no thought. Nothing before this door you really want. Nothing before this door you really want. Nothing in that belt of fear you want to sink beneath. You want to sink down, and you want to open this door, and you want to enter into the light that you truly are. And it's not a light which you necessarily can see with your eyes. You might see the light, but you might also just experience a warmth and happiness and joy. And you might perceive yourself in darkness. That is okay. It's not about what you see with your eyes. It's about the experience you're having deep within. Nothing before this door you really want, and only what lies past it do you seek. And if you seek for it, you will find it. There is no other way around it, because this is the way we are going. Put out your hand and see how easily the door swings open with your one intent to go beyond it. And you can do that when you go down, you go down to the central channel and you sink deep. Open up that door. Feel that you are opening it up and you are going in. You're walking into that room of light, or you're coming out of this constriction of the world and come out into the light. You can visualize this. You can help yourself by visualizing this as if you're actually coming out of a cave onto a beach, lit up. You can do that. You can help yourself. Put out your hand and see how easily the door swings open with your one intent to go beyond it. Angels light the way. I have to underline it. I haven't got nothing to. Angels light the way. We're talking about angels now. There's very rarely the Course in Miracles talks about angels. Angels light the way so that all darkness vanishes and you are standing in the light so bright and clear that you can understand all things you see. Angels come. Angels within your mind and angels in the form of other people. If you just allow yourself to see the light within them. A tiny moment of surprise, perhaps, will make you pause before you realize the world you see before you in the light reflects the truth you always knew and did not quite forget in wandering away in dreams. You cannot fail today if you do this right. And I have got prepared several different classes for you, which you can exercise with today. There walks with you the Spirit heaven sent you, that you might approach this door someday, and through his aid slip effortlessly past it to the light. That Spirit is your higher self, is your Holy Spirit. It's your Christ consciousness, which is always within you. Today, that day has come, and this day is today. Today we are going to slip past the belt of fear. We're going to sink deep within. We're going to open that door, and we're going to go inside. In fact, we're going to go outside. We're going to come past, and we're going to see the light. And you're going to use any imagination you need to experience the truth about yourself. Don't deny yourself that. Today, that day has come. Today, God keeps his ancient promise to his Holy Son, as does his Son remember his promise to him, to God, to his Father. This is a day of gladness, for we come to the appointed time and place where you will find the goal of all your searching here and all the seeking of the world, which ends together as you pass beyond the door. And that's what we're doing today. In the Qigong class, I'm going to suggest to you 3 Qigong classes today for you to do this. So you can do 1 Qigong class each time the course suggests. You've got 3 attempts today. Remember often that today should be a time of special gladness, and refrain from dismal thoughts and meaningless laments. Refrain from that. Salvation's time has come. Today is set by heaven itself to be a time of grace for you and for the world. Because each time you remember the light, another light is lit up in this world. It is the surge of power, this surge of light, this power of the light is so powerful. When one of us remembers, he or she or it remembers it for all of us. It's like we are making a new connection. It's like a new connection has been made in the brain, and that serves all of us. If you forget this happy fact, remind yourself with this. Today I seek and find all that I want. My single purpose offers it to me. No one can fail who asks to reach the truth. Isn't that just beautiful? You cannot fail. Because especially us who are doing this Course in Miracles, who have actually decided to dedicate at least 1 year to the training of our mind. And many of us are doing it many times because we are sensing deep inside that this is the truth. And you just have to consider how did this even come about, this book? When did it start? It is said that this is Christ dictating that, the historical Jesus. So this started 2,000 years ago. First the life of Jesus, then the apostles who needed to start preaching, and then 80 years later, finally it actually got written, probably with a lot of loss of truth and a lot of superstition and so a lot of misunderstandings. It then was put into words, and then the church passing it from generation to generation to arrive at us. And then Helen Schuckman being trained, her body being trained over generations to get a body in place which could receive, which could hear the voice. And then the dictation she received, and then she stenographed it onto her block. And then she read it out to William Thetford, who then typewrited it, put it onto paper, readable to all of us. And then Ken Wapnick coming into the picture and protecting the course, creating the foundation for inner peace. And those people who protected the course and brought it to us. And now us, you and me, reading this course together. Can you see how many people there were involved and what time span? And we are all uniting together to save this world. Save this world from its madness. And we can see how mad it is right now. And we have to focus on the light, on the great stuff, on the stuff we have actually achieved. And what you have achieved. And it's not a little thing. You have achieved a lot. The bare fact that you're with me now for this time, and this has been a long class, a long lesson, that you're still here, that means that you are determined. So for this particular lesson, I suggest different Qigong classes. You can do a long class or you can do a short class. So today I'm going to suggest 3 different lessons. I'm going to suggest 2 10-minute lessons and 1 long one. So you have here a 10-minute lesson, but remember your lesson. Remember, it is important that you actually remember your lesson. So you can write it down or keep the book open next to you. You can do a standing meditation or moving meditation or a seated meditation. You decide. And really contemplate to get past this door today, to sink deep within and imagine that you're coming out into this light. So for my suggestion is that you do this 10-minute class now, and then later on you can do this moving meditation, and then here I suggest a longer class if that's what you prefer. Enjoy.